This is good stuff.
All right. So, welcome back to your gay best friends, because finally you're here. This is like months in the making. You realize that, right? We
Of
have
course.
people. Well, we've had people say we miss Ross. Look at their like two very distinct messages on some of the YouTube videos I put out that literally says, "Yeah, that's nice, but where's Ross?" So,
That's very sweet. Kind of insulting on one hand
well,
to you, but
yeah, well.
that's all well and good. But I want something else.
So I have to like answer for you because you're not around to answer.
I haven't been
Where
there,
the hell you've been?
and I do apologize for that. And actually, I was going to be more apologetic, but now I realize that you're wearing a T-shirt with a Ouija board on it. And
Yes,
thinking,
it's Halloween.
Was that how you were contacting me? Was that how you were trying to get in touch with me? Like it had come to that? Because it wasn't that bad. You and I have been communicating, but
Yes.
but there is a 12-hour time difference between us, and it does get difficult to try and schedule these in, because I do have a new day job, which is very taxing. Nothing to do with tax, but very demanding.
Because you don't pay your taxes.
I don't pay taxes. No, no.
No. And yes, we do talk.
I do pay my taxes.
It's great because on my way into work in the morning is when you're going home to go to bed.
Exactly.
And it's like a 10-minute conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you good? Good. How's work? You still like it? Great.
That's
You're
enough,
still
isn't
employed?
it?
I'm still employed. Let's go. Time to go to bed. I got to clock in.
Yeah, it is a weird thing, but it's also kind of strange that we live in similar climates too. I think that's a really strange part of this, that we experience similar weather patterns and but we're on sort of polar opposite sides of the planet. But actually, I've got a question. I've been watching some of your makeup tutorials, and you have never ever mentioned how to apply the makeup, put the makeup on, in a way that's going to deal with being in the Florida heat, or the tropical thing here. Why are you not dealing with that? That's a real problem.
It is a problem, and as a matter of fact, I kind of had a comment on one of my last videos, the Jeffree Star video, actually, where one of my subscribers have said, hey, I've gotten this makeup, and I'm just having a hard time, with lip gloss now because we're going into fall and flu season, and we're definitely wearing the masks more often, so wearing a type of lip gloss is just a waste of money. And according to Nikki Tutorials and her new line coming out, it's like a skincare line, I believe. She has a setting spray that she swears that it'll be great because it's got the highest ratings of PVC in it, which is supposed to basically be like hairspray for your face. Okay. So I will definitely be putting that to the test. And then Patrick Star came out with some kind of two different types of setting sprays that have this miracle thing in it as well, where it's supposed to last 16 hours. But I think I'm going to give Nikki's a try and see if that actually works, because I cannot put on like a base face where I'm not all red and splotchy and I just look human that's gotten more than 2 hours of sleep a night, while wearing a face covering, because once I take it off, it's all dirty inside. And it's got it winds up being the same color as what I want my face to look like. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a real issue. Like, I've never understood how in the humidity and the heat, just in general, that you can keep stuff on your face for so long.
Well, let alone put a mask over it then.
Exactly. I think that's just adding to the whole trouble. But I'm glad. Okay, I'm glad you've got some things lined up to talk about those real issues, because
that's a real problem.
Well, I was watching you and thinking, you're not talking about the real problems people are facing today.
Yes, the real hard-hitting facts of how men wear their makeup without, it being all over there, smeared all over the place.
Exactly. Exactly. Come on, get real
This is one
here.
of the first times, though, I've noticed, this is one of the first times we've actually filmed where our heads are roughly the same size. I've noticed when I've noticed when we filmed, I have moved to so many different locations. The first location looked like I was standing in my shower with the shower curtain behind me.
That's what I call that. Your
And I'm like,
psycho
my
look.
face is all the way up. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was my background.
Yeah.
And then I had a cow over my head at one point.
You did.
And I think the last time was like this wooden dark wreath that I had on my
The
dining room
halo.
wall.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm trying this little bad boy right now. Eventually, I will find a place where we'll be able to record on a regular basis and it not look. I just want it to look like a real thing, not
You
like
want to feel
I'm-
comfortable, and
Yes.
yeah, that's okay. That's completely understandable. I get that. I have the same spot that I stand in, the whole time. I have my fake greenery behind me.
You
my
have the
wall.
influencer wall behind you.
I have. Well,
That's what
because
you have.
I do so many Zoom meetings, and I do have a blank wall behind me, and people got a bit bored, and I don't like the idea of using those fake backgrounds in a Zoom meeting. So I thought I'm going to go and put something on the wall. I actually thought I was really aiming to get a picture of a window, with a nice view. I really wanted to do that. I wanted people to think that I lived somewhere amazing, like I could see the sea or something like that. And I thought, no, I don't want to lie. I just want to give them something to look at instead of my face. So that's where that came from.
Well, all right. So you just brought me back to like the movie Back to the Future 2, which I think the Back to the Future trilogy is the best written trilogy of all time. Fight me.
Okay.
That is the hill I will die on. This is the thing. But I always wanted one of those picture window things that they had in Back to the Future Part 2, where Marty goes to the house and meets his future daughter and his wife and, sees his older self. And as they walk in, there's this like picture window and it's really just a pull screen. And it's got all these different things going on. It was like the Nature Channel. And you could see all these really cool things on it. And I was like, I want that when I grow up.
Yeah.
And it's just never happened. We gotta get
not
that
yet.
together.
You're still young. You're still young. Do you know about the Back to the Future musical? Do you know about this?
Are you kidding?
There's a
Is that a
no.
joke? Is that real?
It's opened in London because they've been shut down for a while over there, and like Broadway is just starting to reopen. The West End in London is opening up as well, and they opened with a Back to the Future the musical. So I don't know anything about it really. I just thought it was an interesting concept because as you've just said, you love the whole thing of Back to the Future, and a lot of people do.
It's
a lot of
nostalgia.
people have it in their hearts, and they like that idea of. Well, actually, who do you want to be when you think of Back to the Future? If you were going to be in it, which character do you want to be?
I never thought about it, and a lot of people I know are like, if you love the movie and you love what's going on, you want to be Michael J. Fox's Marty McFly because you get to do all the cool stunts. You get to ride the hoverboard or ride a skateboard and hold on to the back of a truck and, get to do all those cool things and fly in a DeLorean and drive a DeLorean. I mean, I don't think there's a DeLorean anywhere that's working. I think there's only 2 in the world that's left, actually. 2 like that I know of actual DeLoreans, but I can't see. I just want to be an extra. I want to be able to witness it all.
You're happy. You're
you
happy
thought
being the
about that?
viewer. Yeah, I get you. I get you. Because I think what we need to reveal to people as well is the fact that you do travel to and from work sometimes on a skateboard, and you do hang on to the back of a truck. So
Yes.
You kind of give yourself that
Uber prices are
experience.
so crazy right now. That's the only way I can get to afford to go to work.
I think that's a really sensible idea, and one we should encourage more people to do. No, don't do
Yes,
that. It's
for my
really
son's
dangerous.
birthday, he actually just got a longboard, and I
But
just
he
borrow
doesn't
his
hitch
every once in a
rides on the
while.
back of cars.
No, I borrow his longboard so I can get to work.
You do.
That's
Okay. I'm glad
I
you're
have
doing
to
it,
do
not
it.
your son, because I'm happy to put
Yes.
you in danger, just not anyone close to us.
Hmm.
But it's funny because I kind of look and think that, I'd really like to be Doc. I'd really like to have the ability to make
Really?
those things happen. Can you imagine? Like, the man's a genius. It's like when I look at Rick and Morty. I keep thinking, Rick is a terrible person, but geez, I'd like that brain capacity. I'd like to be able to just
Okay.
do all that stuff. That'd be really cool.
You
That's
want
the
to be a
way I
crazy,
think about
kooky
it.
old man.
Yeah. Isn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I haven't got a third example, and I don't want to give you one because I think that would be really telling. But I'll save I'll save some face and stop it there and say, yeah, those two characters I can see myself as. No, but I think they're smart, and I think I like that idea that you can't be too smart without having a few quirks. And I think that's
Yeah.
true in life.
That's
Because
that's a very nice PC way of putting it.
well,
Works.
we have seen it recently because we've seen those billionaires that are going off into space. And that was kind of interesting. And everyone, was going, oh, wow. And some people were saying, I hope they stay there. And but then when Jeff Bezos went into space in his very phallic-looking rocket, like, that was just crazy.
That was gay. That's what that was. That was gay.
Who didn't say to him, what are you doing? That looks terrible. The people are going to talk about that. People are not going to think about what you did or what you are. Maybe it was a diversion. I don't know. But it was just so obviously
all right, so
a big penis
that's
going into space.
That's a very interesting line of thought you have going there of it being a diversion, because is it Jeff Bezos, the one who is sending William Shatner up in space in a couple of weeks?
But I think that's hilarious.
One of the billionaires who has a
How long has it
rocket.
taken him to actually get into space? William Shatner has been faking it for so long.
Just if you can't do it, fake it. Fake
Yeah.
it till you make it.
And
And,
then-
he's about to make it, and I'm like, don't do it. I don't know. You've already lived a very good life. Live off the dividends, not the principal,
Yeah.
and ride into the sunset on Earth where you belong.
And send
Don't
William
chance it.
Shatner into space. I think that's hilarious. Okay, I'm gonna look forward to
You're
seeing
gonna look
that.
this up.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I do want to. I do need to complain about something because I've been working on a little side project. Just every now and then adding to it. I've been creating a huge map of the world showing where same-sex marriage is legal. And I've done it. It's in the other room. I can't show you because it's on the wall. I've been doing it on the wall. And then I wake up and find out that Switzerland is now allowing same-sex marriage. And I've already completed it. Like, the job is done. But now I have to go back and kind of redo it. And Europe's kind of tiny in there, and I don't know how I'm going to fit it in. But yeah, so that's my gripe with Switzerland. They're now
How
going,
dare they? They fucked up your wall.
Well,
They screwed up your project.
we should be grateful that they're doing it now. But there was a vote I think they said 2/3 of people were in favor of it. It was a vote of the people. So same-sex marriage and same-sex adoption is going to be legalized, which is pretty fantastic. If you want your Swiss Miss or your Swiss Mister to spend the rest of your life with that person, you can, and you can go and live happily in Switzerland with them. It's a pretty quiet place, though, if you want a quiet life. It's not very big. You don't know much about Switzerland, I'm assuming.
I don't know much about Switzerland.
Not many
it's not
people do.
It's not a world in Epcot. I don't know. If it's not in the World Showcase, I can't help you.
Okay. If
it's not in the Wizarding World, who are you?
Okay.
You don't exist in my world.
Okay. So So you know about Canada and Hogwarts. Is that kind of how things work?
Pretty much. And what I know about Canada is bacon and beer.
Maple syrup.
And they wear really cool. I'm gonna offend so many people. Oh my god! And they wear really cool, like what is it? It's not gingham. It's plaid. They wear like the red plaid, like lumberjack people.
Yeah, they do.
I'm down for a good lumberjack. Why not? Christmas is coming up. Get me a lumberjack.
Well, they don't say
jacket.
Canada for
jacket.
nothing.
That's what I meant. A lumberjacket.
A lumberjacket. Is that actually a thing? Like, or if you just made up that?
Lumberjacket?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to invent it.
Or are you going to put that on a T-shirt?
I want a lumberjack.
I'm now getting. Yeah, I'm thinking that could be quite offensive.
Maybe.
Depending where you put the hyphen. Oh. Poor Canada. Mexico is there too.
Poor Canada.
Yeah, they're going to change it just because of that. Oh my lord. Okay. But we
have to start
Yeah.
following through with what we want to do, though. I'm going to be honest. My son came up to me earlier today, and he wears a lot of Vans shoes for skateboarding because he does skateboard regularly. And Converse are a great skateboarding shoe. I wear Converse as well. And his big problem was he likes his shoes to stay white where they're supposed to be white. So, on the front of the shoe, it gets all gray. And all around the side is always white. But, of course, if you're skateboarding as your main, main source of transportation, it gets dirty really quick. He's like, why can't they just make peel and stick things to go over it? So, to keep the actual white part white, and then at a certain point when they get that peel part gets really, really dirty, you just peel it off and maybe put another one on. Because most Converse, and I don't know about Vans so much, but most Converse have the same generic style where the front's always the same. Yeah. And the sides all the way around are always the same. So I'm like, do it. Make it a thing. Why not? Those are one of those ingenious ideas.
I think that is a good idea because I've had kind of the same pair of Converse shoes that I've rebought over the years after they wear out, and I just buy the exact same ones, and maybe slightly different color, but I like the bright red ones. I have bright red ones right now, but they don't change. Nothing has changed since I started wearing them. And look, and I am only 24, so it hasn't been a very long time, but I can imagine if you've been around for a while. You may find that that didn't work. No one is going to believe that. Okay, I'm 32. But no, I think that is a good idea. I think that is or you could just get one of those machines that you put your feet into that cover the shoe with plastic, like vacuum seals your shoe in plastic, about, like when you're going into a building. Have you seen those?
I have, actually. Sad but true. Cool. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And you just go and and put your feet in the thing and then go out for the day and then come back and take it off and your shoes will be perfect, like new, like you've never worn them.
Well, there are so many people I know who are like sneakerheads that buy lots of sneakers to collect them because they look amazing and they will only wear them for like 20 minutes tops outside, and they would bring them back home because God forbid they get a little scuff or something. Because, sneakers do tend to get very expensive. What Air Jordans are like, how much money now? Like $150, $200.
You're asking the wrong person. I would never do that.
I'm talking to the con guy, the Converse guy. But we have a Converse actually right down here in Orlando. Or close to Orlando, where it's not just the Converse outlet, it's the Converse clearance outlet. So not only is it like Oh my God. And
Yeah.
what's even better about it is, okay, so it's the clearance. So if this Converse were, retails for $100, well, the clearance prices say it wouldn't be unheard of to be $40. So it's a $40 pair of $100,
Yeah.
$40 for a $100 pair. Great. But
I'll be
then
honest and
they
tell you that
have,
I do that.
yeah.
Yeah. I'd get them from
Okay.
there.
Oh, totally. Because every once in a while, if you don't mind going back and circling back, every so often it will say 50% off the lowest price. So I have literally gotten $100 pair of Converse for like 20 something dollars.
Yeah.
$20 plus tax. It's amazing. So, and they're so cool to collect because they're so unique. And
Yeah.
a lot of them are unisex.
And
So.
and very unique. I remember seeing some and going, oh, should I, like, that's really way out. Where could I wear them? And like it was this kind of the camouflage ones are pretty popular, and then they've got sort of tartan ones are pretty popular, and this had this sort of wild kind of almost like paisley pattern on it, and I could see why people didn't sort of buy them, because you'd have to be pretty confident to wear them. And I'm not a confident dresser by any means, but I thought, you know what, for $30 I'll buy those. And I wore them, and they were fantastic. And people would look and go, oh, where did you get those? And I went, well, they were very expensive, very exclusive.
It's exclusive.
Well, no one else was wearing them,
Because no one wanted to.
Exactly. And I'm thinking,
everybody else had
people
taste.
People spend a fortune on these exclusive items, one-off items. I'm thinking, no, just wait and get what people don't want to buy. It's the best way to do it. Yeah, I'm a bit frugal with money.
Well, okay. Well, when it comes to fashion, isn't it on one big carousel anyway? It comes back around eventually.
It'll always come. If your wardrobe is big enough, then you'll be okay. Actually, I was remembering my sister's like high school, like graduation party frock that she wore was like, and this was in the 80s, and I remember this being, a young kid in the 80s, your big sister, and she's all dressed up to go somewhere. But looking back now, it was hideous. It was absolutely like horrific. But they all were. Everybody looked, and they were in these big taffeta, puffy, sleeves and all of this kind of stuff. And I keep thinking, oh, is this going to come back? When is this going to come back? I hope it doesn't. And so far, I haven't seen a popular wave of this. We've seen some kind of hints to bits and pieces, but if that comes back in full force, that kind of 80s and the neon from the 80s and all of that kind of stuff was just horrible. I don't know why I'm not blind.
It has actually been back, by the way. I have a neon fanny pack from Fossil that I have. There were a couple of neon pairs of Converse that have crossed my eye.
Do you wear that specifically so you don't get knocked over when you're on the back of the trucks with the skateboard? Because that would be really helpful.
Kind of like I have my own traffic cone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no batteries required. It's really low maintenance.
I'm that big warning sign as you go. I am the warning sign. Yes. Yeah. A lot of people have referred to me in the past as their big warning. But yeah.
I would have said danger wide load, but that's just me.
Oh, speaking of that. Okay. So I know I can tell that you've lost some weight, by the way.
Really?
Because yes, I actually can. I can see it in your face.
Because somebody else said it as well.
Well, here's the thing. Your face is like not as puffy, which means it makes all the wrinkles in your face show up.
I do.
And it shows your real age.
I do look 32, don't I?
It's terrible. Just fantastic.
Thank you.
You can tell. You can tell how old you are. You're not masked behind the fat. Like, it's great.
But actually, what you are saying is someone a very, very long time ago told me this, and because this was a woman and she was in her late 50s, early 60s, and she had brilliant skin, and she didn't look her age at all. And she said the key is to stay slim when you're young, and as soon as the wrinkles start to show, you just put on a little bit of weight. And then if the wrinkles come anymore, you put on a bit more weight. And then you put on a bit more. You need to just fill it out. You don't let the wrinkles take over. And I thought, that's fantastic. But I have a horrible...
How long ago is this?
This was a long time ago. This
before fillers, dear. This is what fillers are now.
But you don't need to bother with all of that. You just eat another donut. You know, it's cheaper and more easily accessible and less likely to make you look like a duck. You know, that whole... you're not... Like, having another donut is not going to give you one of those faces of those, you know, fillers gone wrong thing. And you know when it's like on one side better, like higher than the other.
Yes.
And you go, hi, how you doing? You know, that, you don't get that
when
with
you
fat.
have to tell your kid, don't stare, don't say anything. I've been in that situation once before. For my anniversary, I took my husband to get to a meet and greet, and Devin came with us, and he was much younger at the time. And as he being a child as he was, you know how kids say the darndest things, and they always tell you the truth, and you know they don't think twice about just saying it because they're so unfiltered. Well, we were going to see this celebrity and have her sign our book because Mark and I were a huge fan of this person, and the whole time I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna say something. And I had to keep telling him, Devin, whatever you do, just don't say anything, don't stare, it's fine, I will explain everything later. Meanwhile, she was the sweetest celebrity I've ever met. She took an extra 15-20 minutes just talking to Devin alone about school, and this was actually Joan Rivers.
I was just about to say, this is Joan Rivers, isn't it?
Yes. So it was just like
she has a soft spot for kids, which I think is really a revelation to some people. Her
grandson Cooper is the same age as Devin is, and they were talking about, oh, that must mean you're in 4th grade, and what's your favorite subject? And I was so impressed that when he said science, and she goes, oh, Cooper's learning about this right now in class. Have you gotten to that yet? And they went on a conversation about something about science in 4th or 5th grade science. And I was just blown away about how personable and nice she was. And I was blown away by the restraint of my son not saying, what the hell is wrong with your face? Like, it was a thing. It's real.
Oh. Whereas today, Devin would definitely just say, oh my God, what's wrong with her face? Because that's a sensible thing to say these days. Yeah. Oh, Dad, why do you look like Joan Rivers? Are you aiming for that? Yeah. No, I have.
And
I have a great memory.
Much love and respect for her. Honestly.
Oh, exactly. I think it's really interesting because she used to put on a big show. That was what it was about. She was a real performer, but this thing that she had with her grandson was really true and honest. And yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that she connected with kids. That just sounds beautiful. But I do have a memory of something amazing that I saw. It was just a short clip of this woman describing a terrible time that she had in a supermarket, or she was somewhere out with her child, and there was a man in a wheelchair, and her kid basically very loudly said, "Oh, mummy, look at that! What's going on there?" And the woman was like, "Oh my God, I can't, what do I do? How do I react with that?" And the kid just wouldn't let it go. And the kid was really, really inspired. And then the kid all of a sudden, after a few things that could be terribly misconstrued, turned around and said, "That guy's wearing an earring and it is so cool."
See, we hit a certain point in our lives where we think it's going to be the worst. We are preparing ourselves for the very worst. We don't even expect the best or hope for the best anymore. We're just like, how are we going to get through this? Because it's going to be the worst, And that is such a wrong way of thinking of things. But that's how I grew up. It was I was very repressed growing up. We never talked about sex. We never talked about drugs. It was just, you don't do it. It's hands off, literally. You just don't do any of that stuff. And because my parents never showed affection to each other, let alone to us as children, you grew up and that was the norm. So when you see other people doing it, that's when you start feeling a little weird. And at least for me, when I see, when I saw fathers like hugging their sons, saying that they were proud of them, or doing things with them, and I was like, that's kind of odd.
You're wondering which planet are we
with
on?
Your dad? Like, what are you doing with your dad? Can I do it too?
Yeah.
Oh, different podcast. Wait. That's the late night podcast. Hold on.
Okay. Look, but it's funny you mentioned you didn't talk about drugs, because in my family we didn't necessarily talk about them either. But I
just did
tell you, it was just around. It was just accessible. But my grandmother, my mother's mother, was very loving and very caring, and would often try and sneak you money, like give you some money. And she would say, go to the cinema, go and do something or with this. And usually go to the movies was kind of the common thing, to, slip you some money and do that without our grandfather seeing. But she would always say, if you go to the movies, don't sit on the aisle because they will jab you with heroin.
Okay. Where did you grow up in Australia?
It wasn't that rough, but she'd obviously seen something somewhere on television that I don't know if it ever happened in a cinema, but she's got this concept that there's just someone walking down the aisle jabbing people in the aisle seats with heroin and then getting them addicted. So she obviously that was her experience of life. But you can go to the cinema, but just don't sit on the aisle.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I sit on the aisle quite often now, but I look. Anytime someone...
It's always there in the back of your head, right?
Well, if they've got a syringe, I'll be like, Nan, help me. Yeah. But that was our drug. That was our drug talk from our grandmother. So we were fearful of heroin, but only from people in the cinema.
Everywhere else was fine.
Why would they be anywhere else when you can be in a nice air-conditioned cinema?
Very so true. I remember those, like, were they urban legends? The oh my goodness, the razor in the apples for Halloween.
Yep.
Like, I've heard how it happened so many times. Never actually heard the person or a direct link to the person who this had happened to.
Well, there's a reason, because that person can no longer talk properly because they've had, their mouth sliced open. So they're talking to you like this. They're kind of like the person with the filler gone wrong. You can't tell the difference between the two. That's both of them.
And how about we were told that there were strange people standing outside of the schoolyard giving you little stamps, like little tattoos, temporary tattoos, with fun cartoons on it that you would lick and get wet and put on your skin, and they were LSD.
Yeah.
Like, I wasn't allowed to have tattoos anyway, but no.
Why would people be giving away LSD?
Not. Seriously.
That's kind of what I thought about the heroin as well. Like,
it's good. Yeah, it's got a market value. Why are you just giving it away for free?
Like, I understand the whole heroin addiction thing, get them addicted, but it's pretty random just in the cinema in the dark. How do you need to size up?
You leave a business card with it?
For a refill, call 1-800. Meet me on the Meet me on the corner of 42nd Street and A, and Monday through Thursday, not during the matinees, because I will be busy at the matinees. Exactly.
I'll
Don't check the start times of every session, and then everything will be okay. You'll find me if I don't answer. You know why? It's that's a very strange memory, but it's a very true one, and
Well,
I
yeah.
do love that. I love that she saw something and she cared. But look, I do want to talk to you about something else, which I'm concerned for you. I do have some genuine concern because I learned something about you. I think it was a little while ago now, but someone else here in Singapore who I know quite well. I found out that he's in the same predicament. He's a member of the same cult as you.
Oh.
And I know you don't like to call it a cult, but it is. They dazzle you with all of this, fantasy of how wonderful your life will be and how easy everything will be, and you just have to come and join us, and you have to be one of us. And he's one of us, and well, not me because I'm not part of this club, but you are too. And I just want to know: is it really impacting?
Is this an intervention?
Well, I don't think I can stop it. This is the problem. I think it's gotten far too big, and I'm really concerned. I don't know how to deal with it, but it doesn't seem to impact your daily life, and you don't seem to talk about it every time we speak. So that makes me feel a little bit better. You have hope.
Hope.
He doesn't.
There's hope.
He doesn't.
Okay.
He does bring it up every single time. He sends me pictures. He's a bit absorbed by it all. So I want to know, how do you get through life with an air fryer and not become
Do you have one yet?
No.
No, God forbid.
Do I have one yet? See, this is it. This is what they all try and do. They all try and get you, this model is really, and I've got this. There
are websites, there's YouTube channels, there are all these videos that you too can make fabulous crispy French fries with the use of so little oil, if any.
And
it sucks the fat right out of it.
It does. It's amazing.
I saw a video the other day about this gentleman who refused to believe that an air fryer was could ever be better than the actual oven.
Uh-huh.
And he did a blind test of everything you can fry or everything you can oven bake versus air fry. And he did the chicken nuggets, like the frozen chicken nuggets, to the pizza rolls, to just everything, onion rings, everything you could think of. And he would put them both on a paper plate, and on the paper plate it would say air fry on one side, oven on the other. He'd put them on. It would be on a Lazy Susan. He would blindfold himself, spin it around a whole bunch of times, and try it. And every single time, the air fryer won. You have to give it a shot. Have to. There has to be a restaurant somewhere in Singapore that's like air fry.
I will be honest. I have eaten from an air fryer, like something that has been in the air fryer, and it was pretty good.
Do you cook at home though? This is where I get worried about you. Every time we're talking, you're going to the vegan carb free keto bakery, and you're skipping along in your red Converse, going to get your donut and your cake. And I don't ever hear of you. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. There was that one time you did cook, and I believe it included a microwave. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I don't have an oven here. So if anyone's not quite sure, I live in Singapore, very humid country, and a lot of smaller places don't necessarily have an oven. And some people, if you've got a larger place, you'll have an indoor kitchen and an outdoor kitchen as well, because you don't want to, when you live in a really hot country, you don't want to cook inside, and so there's sometimes indoor, outdoor kind of kitchens going on. But I don't have an oven. I have a convection microwave oven, which I can use, and it's okay. But I would prefer an oven to kind of bake things and cook things. But I do cook some of my meals. But it's a very common thing here to eat out. We have a lot of really good, very cheap food that you can go out and eat. It's a cultural thing. I'm not going to restaurants all the time. But yes, you're right. I do go to the keto bakeries. There's a few of them. They're pretty good. I do get some nice things from there. So I am living the keto life. I don't think I'm in a cult with that.
It shows in your face in multiple
that
ways.
I'm in a cult.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you're in the keto lifestyle.
Okay. Well, it works for me. It's kind of easy.
That's
it's not the easiest thing to do here in Singapore. And let me tell you, we eat a lot of rice.
Land of the noodle and rice. Yes.
Yeah, I have rice, or normally used to have rice nearly every day, at least once a day. I don't think there was a day that went by where I didn't have rice at all.
But the Asians are so thin.
Yeah, they don't eat much of it. They don't eat much of it,
okay.
And they don't eat much of anything else. See, we eat a lot of everything. We just eat a lot of everything. I think that's the big problem. So I don't think rice is the problem. I don't think noodles are the problem. I think when we put everything else on top of it, it all becomes a problem. So I thought I need to change something. So this has been really good. So, but back to the air fryer. I don't have one. I probably could have one. I probably should. No, I wouldn't say should. I could make good use of an air fryer, I think. But because I don't cook that much at home, I could go a few days without not cooking for myself. So every 2, 3, or 4 days I would be cooking for myself, and sort of eating out the rest of the time, which is kind of a pretty normal kind of thing, So people go out for breakfast, but when I say go out for breakfast, they're going out for like eggs and toast and tea, and it costs you $2.50. It's a different world. So a lot of people do that. So yeah, if I cook here, it's kind of pretty basic. But yeah, the air fryer. Look, I'm impressed by it. I really am impressed by it. But it has got a bit of a cultish membership of its ownership around the world.
Some people have two.
Who would have two? What would you do with two?
I don't know. I should ask why we have two in the first place. No.
That's excessive. Like two. Like I've seen. Okay, so this friend of mine he has the biggest one that you can get, and it's got like obviously the biggest capacity, and that seems pretty okay. But I suppose if you had a bigger family, that would be an issue. Look, and look, here with me, and I'm not. I hardly know what a Kardashian is. I'm not very good with things that are happening currently in the world. I really don't keep up.
You don't keep up with the Kardashians?
No, not at all. I couldn't tell you which was which. I really couldn't. And now, Caitlyn Jenner's just made the whole thing even more confusing. Because they're all, they all look really similar. I was worried about the Thermomix, and I don't know whether you know much about the Thermomix, but it's another cooking appliance, and it's very expensive.
Is that the Irish one that we talked about a while ago?
Did we talk about it? Yeah,
I
it's
think
German.
you told me. Is it German?
I think it's German.
Okay.
I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure, because I just know there are some people that get it, but it's really expensive, and it's got all these kind of recipes built in, and it can do anything from cook a cake to a chicken and make
soup from scratch.
Yeah, like do everything. Like anything you want to do, whatever you feel like, it'll be able to help you. And I'm just like, oh my God. And that was getting really culty with a lot of people, and they're like, yeah,
I could see you with that though before an air fryer, and I will tell you why. An air fryer is not for you, mainly because an air fryer people use to include something to another portion of a meal. There is no one pot air fryer meal.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I've seen you're like, oh, I'm gonna have some rice or some noodles and eggs, and I'm gonna put them together, and I'm gonna do. You can't do that with an air fryer. You're making chicken nuggets. You're making mozzarella sticks. Yeah. Like it's the one thing. So unless you're eating finger foods like that, which you are not anymore, like It's not a one pot anything.
Yeah,
Like I would go with the what's it called? The instant pot.
yeah.
Go for an instant pot. You could just dump shit in that,
It's just
and that will become like a
cult.
gourmet meal.
Another cult. I hear this from other people as well.
Yes.
You should get one of these.
Yes.
But you've actually uncovered something that's really quite true with me. If I'm cooking, side dishes don't come into it. I don't do that. I don't mind a side dish.
You're an onion. You've got many stinky layers, my friend. We're just gonna keep unraveling them as time goes on.
Okay, but I'll gladly say I don't cook a side dish. I make a dish that's got everything in it.
You are a one pot wonder.
Yeah.
And like I am a one trick pony, you are a one pot wonder. That's what it is. That's what it comes down to. We just gotta accept it for what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm Doc and you're Marty. It kind of yeah.
Very good. Yes.
We'll make this work. But look, I suppose we should kind of finish off with something to make ourselves a bit better as people. So one thing that I've definitely I think what I need to do is to be able to cook a meal with a side dish, and actually
that is so American.
Just do that. Well, no, but it's something on the side. So because like with my vegetables, like I remember growing up, we would have meat and separate vegetables. Mm-hmm. That's kind of normal for where I'm from. Okay. But I don't do that here. I would make sure that they would all get incorporated into the one dish. So I've definitely
that's very Asian too.
Well, yeah, I've turned myself into the one pot wonder. So I'm going to try and separate some of these things out. That's my personal goal. And by the time we next speak, I will have evidence of that actually happening.
Okay.
You've made me realize it's a crutch that this one pot crutch is not something to be proud of, and I need to remedy it. So that's what I'm going to do between now and the next time we speak. What about you? Is there something in your life that you think you could do better or different to make the world a better place?
I'm so afraid we were going there. All right. Do you know how people say if you put it out there, then you just have to do it, and people are expecting you to do it, and they're
but I think you got arrested.
Like you just put out there to the world that you have been practicing a ketogenic diet, and it is working for you. And in a couple of weeks, if you start mentioning how you made, French fries in your new air fryer.
My air fryer.
That might not be so authentic anymore.
No,
people are watching you. So, let's see. As of right now, it's September 26th. So, starting October 4th, there is a new program I will be starting. It is called Better BETR. It is in conclusion with a new gym that's opening up right down the road from my house. It's truly 24 hours, 7 days a week. I know I've stepped on a treadmill before, and I've judged lots of people hard. Yep. And I actually am paying for a personal trainer 2 times a week for accountability.
That's good.
And with this Better program, it also includes the diet portion of it all, like diet as in
Fantastic.
How to eat certain things when, and it basically the first 30 days of this program, level 1 is about restoring your gut health, because I have noticed I might be lactose intolerant. Because when I was doing keto for a couple of weeks, I felt so much better, and I didn't have the gas issues. I didn't have the bloating feeling. I was feeling a lot better, and then I fell off that wagon and hit my head 5 times and rolled over and landed into a vat of potatoes, and I felt like crap again. Or I would have coffee.
That
with
sounds
heavy
glorious,
cream.
though.
But in keto, you can have coffee with heavy cream.
Yeah.
And that's great. the dairy and the heavy cream was giving me upset stomach issues.
Ah,
So
okay.
I had
That's
to.
really interesting, though. If that's a problem, if you do have a lactose problem, one of the big parts of keto is, and a friend of mine, another friend who is, he relies on keto every, he will, if he strays too far, he will then go on a kind of strict keto for a couple
Like
of
a
months
restart or
and
reboot?
yeah, get everything back. But he relies heavily on cheese. So cheese is a good thing on keto. Cheese, you can eat quite a lot of cheese, and he eats a lot of cheese when he's doing that. I don't think I eat as much cheese because I was never, I like cheese, but I've always found it, always thought cheese to be evil. So it's a very hard thing to start gorging on cheese. But if you are lactose intolerant, and getting back to the whole point of why I'm saying this, that would be difficult. That would make it difficult because you're right. There's lots of opportunities to use dairy in the keto diet. So yeah,
Right.
so get that.
So
I think that's good. Get that sorted out. Figure out what's going on for you because you don't want
yeah,
to.
and it's included. It's included with the personal trainer program, and with the gym membership, you get this whole other program, the Better program, BETR. And I have a one-on-one coach for 30 days for my first level 1, where you're really just eating non-processed foods. And then level 2 is starting to add in a few things and to see how you feel. Like you get to monitor and gauge, oh, well, after 15 days of not doing this, I feel so much better. Now on day 31 or month 2, I'm going to have a handful of almonds, and if I start feeling crappy or bogged down, I know that maybe almonds aren't good for me, for my body, and for my gut, or I can only eat, a quarter of a cup of almonds, and once I start pushing into the half a cup range, then I'm like, ooh, I kind of feel something different happening here. You turn into the Hulk where your pants get really tight and start ripping. So,
Oh, I thought that's when
get
you
green and all.
when you get a really cute trainer. I thought that was what was going to
Lumberjack.
happen.
Lumberjack.
Yeah.
It.
Well, I
Lumberjack.
feel my challenge is a little bit insignificant compared to yours. I think what you're doing is great. I'll cook a side dish. Woohoo! But it's probably good because I do have a lot else going on, and I have been really good with this keto stuff. So.
Well, and I am so I really I know we fuck around a lot around here, and especially when we just talk one-on-one. But I really am, and I want to go on the record for this. I really am proud of the fact that no matter what is going on in your life, you're either walking 3 miles out, in the Singaporean heat or a monsoon, and you're like, oh, I'm going for my walk. And just to feel better and to move your body, and you've been following the keto.
Nothing's going to stand in my way, as far as the walking. And it really is hot here, and I don't. And look, I'll be honest, I don't walk during the day. I did, and I don't know if you can still see my sunburn from the other day when I did it.
A little bit of a line. Looks like a dirt line now.
It's come down quite a lot. But at the time. The result of me walking in the sunshine is terrible. So I walk as soon as the sun goes down. So I wait, and
you're smart about it.
That's when I do my walking. But that's why I was asking about the makeup thing, because there's no way, the sun coming down on you, the humidity that's around you, then your body temperature comes up. 5 minutes in, I don't know how women have done it all this time.
I remember wearing certain sunscreens that if I was to sweat just a little or rub my eye, I couldn't see.
Yeah.
My eye turned like beet red. It would be watery. It was like I got a shot in the eye. Yeah. And it was just horrible. And it would always burn and be itchy, and you couldn't do anything about it.
Actually, I'm gonna share something with you the next time that we meet, specifically about hair product. Because there is hair product that I can't use here because it melts too easily, and then drips,
Really?
and comes onto my forehead and then into my eyes. So I need a hair product that's going to stay on my head, and
Well,
not
I
melt
think,
in the heat and the humidity.
and we will
They're bizarre
definitely
things that
gonna
you don't
get
think about.
into it, but yeah, I mean, and I would think since you are in that climate, that a solution would be there, like right there in your backyard,
And
or in your,
that's exactly what you have to do. You have
Don
to
Don
look in your
Donkey.
own backyard. Yeah, you can't bring things from home. You can't, go, oh, I really like this brand. Oh, I'll bring it in. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes that's okay, and then other times it's like, there's a reason it's not here,
Mm.
or there's a reason why it's really cheap here.
Gotcha.
You
Yeah.
go, I'll get that bargain because I love a bargain. I really do like a bargain. But yeah, that when the bargain is like dripping down your face and going into your eyes, and you're there going, I can't see what's going on. Then you
all
quickly
right, so-
realize.
Yeah. So, well, here's the thing. I propose that once a week we do this, no matter what happens. And next time when we
okay.
talk, we are going to talk about hair product.
Okay.
Because I have a basket of this stuff here.
I know.
Yeah. And there is something from Hawaii that I got, which was Japanese, that it's very interesting. So, and it's a hair gel product.
Okay.
So the next time we are together, we will definitely be talking about hair product for men and what works and what doesn't work. And I actually challenge you to bring something also for maintenance and grooming and hygiene for the beard. I'm jealous I can't grow one, but there's
my
a look
secrets?
to it.
Do you want me to? I can tell you my secret now. His name is Justin.
Sorry, I went into a totally wrong way with this. Yeah, sorry.
And actually, I'm going there tonight because you can see that it's all a bit too long. But yeah, no, I can tell you what I use in the in between times. But I regular servicing by an authorized technician is what keeps this in place. It's really how it works.
All right, so next time we definitely have a topic for next time.
Sure.
And we'll be that much closer to Halloween, so it'll be interesting to see what we come up with to talk about then. Because you look like a pumpkin. Like, we're good. Pumpkins come in all shapes and sizes, my friend.
Okay.
I just look like a tomato. It's like one big red face, and you're the pumpkin.
Well,
So
look, we have an option here for 2 side dishes. We're doing really well. I'm almost finished my challenge.
Mm-hmm. Make pumpkin succotash. You'll be good.
Okay.
All right. So, promise it won't be that much longer in between.
I promise.
podcasts.
I promise it won't. I will.
We're going to be putting this on a calendar. It's going to be a thing.
I was just waiting until I got a bit thinner and you'd notice before I got on camera with you. That was the whole thing. That's why you had to wait.
Gotcha.
It seems like a good idea. I wish I would have realized. But.
Well, all right, and in full transparency, because of your job and everything going on during your day job, and because of my job, you had to cancel once or twice. I've had to cancel twice, so it's not just all on you. I get that, and I don't want other people to think it's
you're a bit of a bastard as well.
Doing it, yeah. Yes, I'm glad you noticed.
You've got a busy job, and it gets busier at different times of the year. I've just started something, which means I need to try and figure out what I'm doing to make sure I can keep this job. I'm working on a really interesting project. It's very very time consuming for my brain. I kind of think about it all the time. This has been a nice break. To not have to think about it, but it's one of those kind of all-consuming kind of things. So it will get easier, but right now it's just in those early stages. So I've been spending a lot of just time in general thinking about it and not really thinking about much else that's going on in the world, which is probably a good idea.
Yeah. You got to keep busy thinking about something else than politics and the news and craziness. So we are going to really wrap it up on this, because if not, we'll be talking for another 2 hours, because we haven't done this in so long.
No,
this is actually the first time we've had a block of time to talk. So thank you so much. We're going to rename this podcast, actually specifically, is going to wind up being like GBFs. And it's just going to be you and me for this. And we'll have a playlist for this. And then we'll have the playlist of me, going crazy buying shit. Because that's what I've been doing. And, my videos that I've been putting up lately. So we'll put links to everything here. But again, thank you. And we will do this weekly, I promise. Okay?
Really good to see you.
Same here. All right. Okay. Have a good night. And we'll see you soon.